I never really thought that Anslot was going to do that well. I thought that coming from the Dutch league to coaching Liverpool is going to be a jump up. Too much of a jump up. Kudos to him. He did not touch the structures of the club. He's not that touch the structures of the club. The fabric of the club remained what it is.
Hello, welcome to the Our Media Review Show with me, Josiah, where we're taking a look at some of the most interesting and mouth-watering clashes across the European top 5 leagues. At the Stamford Bridge, it was a 1-1 draw between Chelsea and Arsenal. Arsenal, they picked up just a point after that game. Means that they are 9 points adrift leaders Liverpool. And the question we keep asking is that, is it over for Mikel Arteta and his charges for Liverpool? For Chelsea, still that good run after picking up a draw in that particular one. In their previous game, they also drew against Manchester United away from home, which means that they are still on course and still within the top 4 in the English Premier League. But then also at the Annex, there was a shocking result after Manchester City, despite taking the lead in that game through Erling Haaland. They got pegged back, and it was Brighton and Hove Albion that left it late, winning by 2-1. So these are the games we will be reviewing today to see how the title race is going. Also in Italy, there was a 1-0 draw between Inter Milan and then also Napoli. Hachan Calhanoglu, for the first time in 20 attempts since joining Inter Milan, missed a penalty, which means that Antonio Conte's men, after losing 3-0 to Atlanta in the previous week, they walk away from the Giuseppe Meazza with 1 point. So this is the Our Media Review Show with me, Josiah, and I have 2 guests with me. They are usual suspects, if I should put it. I have Courage to my right, and then also Force Atiga Mauli to my left. And these gentlemen will be helping me with the in-depth, incisive, and then also insightful analysis. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
So we witnessed some, blockbuster games over the weekend. Some interesting games, but it's always going to be the Premier League, how it's shaping up, and the title race, how it's going currently. And let me start off with you, Force. Arsenal dropping points, Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. For the first time since Pep Guardiola took charge, they have lost 4 consecutive games. Twice in the Champions League, 1 in the Carabao Cup, the other, twice in the Premier League, if I should put it. 1 in the Champions League, the other in the Carabao Cup. We talk about the title race. Do you think it's over for Arsenal and City?
It's not over until it is over. You understand? Because this is the English Premier League. It brings out surprises that you don't perceive, surprises that you don't really see coming. But at the end of the day, you realize that should Arsenal or Man City come into the game again, then it means that Liverpool would have to step foot off the gas, right? But per what Liverpool is doing this season, I don't really think that is going to be an easy task for either Man City or Arsenal to come back into the Premiership again. But you see, the funny thing is that the 28 points that Liverpool has, right, is the second highest that they've been able to accumulate in the EPL since it started in 1992. The highest being 29 in the 2019-2020 season, when they went on to win the league and then the Champions League as well. So it would have been easier for Man City to come into the game again if Liverpool were not performing this well. Yeah. But you see, one thing that I have noticed about Man City is the fact that they are not playing well and they are not winning matches. Previous seasons where they've not been winning matches, they were playing well. So it was easier for them to, put together probably 10, 15 matches and beat, not even getting a draw, but winning all the 15 matches. And they've been able to do that seasonally. But this season, they are not winning matches and they are not playing well.
Is it a Rodri factor?
It is not. It is not a Rodri factor. Even when Rodri was part of the squad, you could see deficiencies defensively in their transition, and the fact that even though Erling Haaland is getting chances, the turnover is not as it used to be. So there's a drop off over there, and the fact that they are conceding more chances, because against Brighton, if Brighton were to be that clinical, Brighton should have won about 5-1 or 6-1. But the fact that they were not clinical, it ended 2-1. So the point here is that Man City are not playing well and they are not winning matches. You see, you cannot be in the cauldron where you are not playing well and you are not winning matches. Sometimes it's difficult for you to play well, but you win matches by maybe a long goal. The same thing is happening to Arteta's Arsenal. last season and last 2 seasons, you realize that there are certain matches that they don't play well, but at the end of the day, they nick it from the bad. They win by 2-1, 1-0. But this season, the matches that they are not playing well, they are not winning. So it shows you that there's a drop off from the quality that we've seen over the past couple of seasons. So it's going to be difficult for these two teams to come into the foray again, unless there's a cataclysmic, explosion from Liverpool. And what I see currently, the self-belief, the charisma that Liverpool is coming with, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Liverpool, to lose guard for Man City and then Arsenal to come into the party again.
Your quick submission on the title race after Arsenal dropped point, Chelsea dropped point, Manchester City also dropped point, and Liverpool won at home. You think at this point or at this juncture, you think it's over for these two sides?
No. It's not. It's never over. as I always say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You see, Liverpool, I need to commend them first of all because prior to the season, they didn't do any specific signings. You see, they didn't make any top signings, but then they've been, and Slot just came in and slotted in perfectly, and then he's making things move quite smooth for them. They've lost just one in the Premier League. Yeah. And then they've won the rest. Come on, they've been that brutal. Liverpool, when you want to look at their squad, they have quite some squad depth in there. They don't care who is injured or who is available, who is not available. They are able to churn out results. Look at a player of a caliber like Alisson, who's been off, but then Kelleher sets in and then gives 10/10 every day. If Arnold is not there, there's still Joe Gomez who's available to slot in there. If Konate is not there, there is another player. So they don't normally rely on one player. You see, last season, a player like McAllister played a very, very vital role in that midfield of Jurgen Klopp. Right now, he's not been getting the much playing time, but then a certain Gravenberch has picked his form and then playing very, very, very well, and then picking all the pocket passes, winning man of the match after match. So Liverpool, as we speak now, they are on fire. Anyone who comes in delivers. You see, the only constant figure up front there has been Mo Salah from day one. But then there are matches where the Uruguay international, Luis, doesn't play, and then another player sets in, Diogo Jota sets in, plays very well, banging their goals. Those are coming from all angles, from defenders, midfielders, and strikers. It's a very good thing. But then looking at Chelsea on the other hand, Chelsea, even though they are yet to win against any top 4 team this season, but then the point they've amassed doesn't look disappointing. I think it's something to pick positive from going forward. So they are not too far from Liverpool. Same as Arsenal, they are at par 19 points.
Yeah, but that's 9 points adrift of Liverpool.
It's just 3 games.
But that's not just in the title race as competitive as the English Premier League.
The title race begins in mid.
But if you drop points now, sometimes you could fall behind.
One thing I realized about Pep Guardiola is from the start of the season, he tries much to accumulate more points.
Which is not happening now.
Yes. In the middle of the season, he slows down a bit and then focus on the Champions League because that's where the knockout starts. And then at the end, he finishes hard. See, this could be maybe the teams are not living up to the expectation we want them to be. But then I don't think it's still over for any club, any of the top teams, because Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, they can come in stronger and then they will have to play each other. You know, Arsenal will visit Liverpool.
Most definitely.
Yes, points can be shared over there, and then Manchester City will also play Liverpool in the course of the season. So all these things could cause an upset.
But who do you believe were the biggest losers after that drawn game at the Stamford Bridge? You think Chelsea being at home, and just giving away 2 points, or you think Arsenal, who have been title favourites in the last 2 seasons, rather drop points?
Should definitely be Arsenal, even though they were playing away from home, because prior to the game, their coach made a tough talk. He said with the performance they put up at Giuseppe Meazza, if they should be able to replicate that at the Stamford Bridge, they should be picking all maximum points. So Chelsea coach also went in to prove a point. So they are the biggest disappointment, or they will be paying the most because they are chasing title. Chelsea at this point, everybody believes that they are going through a rebuilding process. So win or no win. And then for the last 11 meetings, Chelsea has won only 1 out of 11. So going to the game, they also were all in favor of Arsenal to beat Chelsea. So they are the biggest losers of the day.
First, quickly, we are talking about Arsenal, Chelsea over here, and for the first time in a long while, Arsenal had their first 11, in that setup. Odegaard returned, there was Rice, Partey in midfield, there was Julian Timber at left back. You're looking at the setup and you feel they should be doing better once they've been able to assemble a full house.
There's a difference between having a full house and there's a difference between having a comprehensive understanding between the full house, right? It, the match against Chelsea was the first time in about 5 matches that the full house have been gotten. So it's going to take time for that telepathy, that understanding, that comprehensive, technical know-how to build up between the squad, right? So I wouldn't say that it is a negative. It's always going to be a positive if, as a club, you have every single player fit and available, to be called upon. So going forward or going into the subsequent games is going to be vital for these players, to be fit. Notwithstanding that, we realized that Declan Rice said that was the name. Saka, hopped off. They were substituted not because of tactical reasons, but because they were injured. And we are now going to see to the extent to which the injuries vary.
Yeah.
So yes, it is a good sign that other players are on board now. That is going to have its pick of first choice players to select. But at the end of the day, it is not going to come naturally to them. It is going to come as a result of training and building the same understanding that was there prior. So yes, it's a good sign, but it's not going to come naturally to them. They would have to build upon what they've been able to build so far.
But it's still in the title race. Talking about Arsenal.
No, I have already indicated that they are not in the title race no more. You see, the biggest team from the start of the season that everybody thought that was going to be challenging Man City was Arsenal, right? Because
so they've disappointed to some extent.
They have disappointed because nobody really had Liverpool in the discussion of those who are going to be contenders for the EPL. But at the end of the day, Liverpool has been able to rewritten the storybooks, and they are now the front runners. Should Liverpool, we are 10 games into the season, and you see normally we judge the winners of the EPL from the 10th game going. And statistically, only 28% of winners who have led up to the 10th, match, leading by 9 points, have not gone on to win the league. And the last time that Liverpool went on to amass 28 points, or to be at the top of the league and amass quite this point and be quite ahead of the log, 2019-2020 season, they went on to win the EPL.
That was the COVID season.
That was the COVID season. So all the signs are showing that what should they maintain the trajectory, then it's quite possible. It's quite easy for them to go on and win the championship. But yes, it is true that injuries and suspensions might come in again. But you see, one factor that inures to the benefit of Liverpool is the fact that they have a set squad and they have a match squad, right? And even if they are interchangeables, you don't really see a drop off in quality. Right? Joe Gomez comes in and you don't see a drop-off in quality. Konsa comes in and you don't see a drop-off in quality. Kelleher replaces Alisson and there's no drop-off in quality. You get a point. So if up front you have Thiago Jota, you have Nunes, you have Mo Salah, who is the constant factor in there. So there's quite a bit of twerks here and there, but it doesn't show in points or in results. Even if they are interchangeables, the results are being gotten. So yes, it's going to be a big factor, but I can say confidently that it's going to be difficult for any of the two teams, be it Man City or Liverpool, Man City or Arsenal, to overhaul Liverpool.
We are talking about Liverpool, just where he ended. We are talking about a team that has looked so flawless this season. With the exception of Nottingham Forest beating them at home very early into the season. They are yet to stumble. There's a team that are in firm control of top spot in the league. What's really working for Ancelotti? And you look at that game against Villa and you feel there's a team that's capable of winning the title.
Aston Villa from last season have been superb. There's a reason they are top of the table in the Champions League as well. You see, Ancelotti, he just slotted in perfectly. You see, he didn't make too much unnecessary changes to the squad. He didn't change the game plan. Same game plan. Let's get the ball. Let's attack. If the team likes to keep possession, allow them to keep possession. Let's match them in their own half, and then let's get the ball and then put pressure on them. That counter pressing, the fullbacks must run. Defenders must be aggressive. Forward liners should be sharp enough. Bury the ball. So in matches that you see that they were not able to perform well in the sense of possession or taking control of the ball, at the end of the day, they still bang in goals because you get Mo Salah who give you goals. You see, and then other attackers also bringing in goals. So the magic working for Ancelotti is he's not changing the identity of the team. He's not changing the culture, nothing. He's just continuing from where Jurgen Klopp left it. So that's what is working for them currently.
But you talk about Mo Salah. He's been undeniably the best player for them this season. Yeah, maybe Van Dijk has also been there. But you think switching from a 3 flat midfield to a double pivot has been the secret of this onslaught?
You see, sometimes we dwell so much on tactics, okay? But you can have tactics and not have interpretation. I have always believed, and a firm believer, that it is the interpretation of the tactical aspect or the components that is going to bring the best out of your players. So whether it's a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, what's the name, a 3-4-3, a 3-5-2, it depends on the interpretation, because you can have symmetricals, you can have two tactics, right, being deployed by the opposite side, but the interpretation varies. So it is not necessarily the tactical aspect, but the understanding of the players, right, to interpret the rules that have been given to them.
Seamless. It looks seamless, if you should put it, for the players to.
That is why I'm saying that it is interpretation of the rules. It's like acting. That there can be a script for you. How do you interpret the script? Do you understand? For the viewers to say that, okay, this is the exact rule that has been given to you, and you've been able to interpret the rule to the fullest. That's exactly what Liverpool has been able to do. And you see, if you look at what's the name, Gravenberch is not a defensive midfielder. He's more of an attacking midfielder, right? But this season, what he's doing as a defensive midfielder, or what he's doing as a runner in the midfield, you realize that he's winning most of the 50-50 balls that he's contesting, something that usually he should not be known for. So that should tell you that what they've bought into the concept of the coach, not necessarily the tactics, but they've been able to buy into the concept that, okay, there's a transition, there's a new setup. But you see, like Courage did indicate, the coach did not touch the structure.
But we don't see Jen person at its finest. We don't see Liverpool trying to push the opposition very further into their own. We are seeing a Liverpool that looks more reserved, more relaxed, keeping their shape in defense. And there's a team that's built purely on a strong defense.
It is not necessarily built on a strong defense. Liverpool is been built on the strong transition. Because if you look at the game against Aston Villa, the second goal was a fantastic transition.
But it's a key of Liverpool. We've seen even under Jurgen Klopp, they are one of the best fast break teams. That
is the point. That if you can beat them at what they do, because Liverpool, Aston Villa is going to hold the ball better than you do. So like the game against Chelsea held the ball better, but Liverpool used the ball better. At the end of the day, you need to understand the concept that you are building. What are your strengths? What are your positives? Okay, then you alienate the weaknesses that you have. You work on the strength. Okay, keep the ball, and then we go to break fast. That's exactly what they've been able to do currently. You see, you are not going to see the gen pressing, because if you look at the Liverpool squad, a bit of the players are aging. And you can give them that role again to be pressing as they used to. There's going to be a drop off in energy. So you need to find a replacement for that person. And the replacement for that person is to what? Is to bring out a fast transition. And the fast transition is what aids the Liverpool squad currently. And that's exactly what they've been able to do very well. That's exactly what they've been able to do very, very well this season. And you see, I never really thought that Ancelotti was going to do that well. I thought that coming from the Dutch league to, coaching Liverpool is going to be a jump up. Too much of a jump up. But his coming in is not fantastic. And you see, kudos to him. He did not touch the structures of the club. He's not touch the structures of the club. The fabric of the club remain what it is. He's just coming in, just a bit of twerks here and there, and that's exactly what is working for them.
All right, that's great. Let's go straight to Italy. Quickly on the Inter Milan and on Napoli game, where we saw Scott McTominay giving Conte's side, the lead very, very early inside the game, and then it was a rocket from Çalhanoğlu. But for the first time in 20 attempts, Çalhanoğlu missed from 12 yards, and it's changed the structure, and also the title race in Italy, where you have Napoli at the top with 26 points, and then 5 other teams on 25 points. You think that could be, to some extent, the most competitive league we have in Europe now, currently?
It is based on the points accumulation, right? Because if you go to the EPL, Liverpool is far ahead of
Yeah,
them.
28,
Yes,
25.
if you go to the Spanish La Liga,
23,
you know, what's the name?
Barcelona ahead of
is far ahead of them.
No, just
If you come to the EPL, if you go to, what's the name? France, you know, the gap
Yeah,
is
the
quite
Bundesliga
yes,
is quite the same.
So, yes, based on point accumulation, I'm going to say that Italy is currently the toughest league in Europe, because from the first position to the sixth position is being separated by only 2 points.
Yeah,
so
just a point,
it shows you how tough or how great the league has become. And you see, it is a no-brainer that Napoli went in for Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte, anywhere he has gone, anywhere he has been to, is a winner, and he's bring that mentality. Except at Tottenham, where he tried to, you know, install that winning mentality, but the club culture could not allow him to install that mentality. But Napoli has recently won the league. You understand? And they wanted to build on that and see if they can win another league again. And that's exactly what they went in for in getting Antonio Conte. In getting Antonio Conte, then you are going to get a proven winner. And that is what they have gotten. So yes, Napoli is against Italy. Always the peak of the Italian Serie A over the weekend. And I wasn't surprised Çalhanoğlu, you know, missed the penalty, because it is always going to happen.
He's impeccable from
No, he's been impeccable. You know, we've had players, you know, go 20, 25 penalties without missing, and they miss. You look at somebody like Mario Balotelli, went almost 30 penalties without missing, and then missed. Peperina saved his first penalty. So it does happen.
Ricky Lambert,
Ricky Lambert a couple of years ago, you know, it happened. So yes, he's still going to have the confidence to, you know, go at it again. So yes, it is quite a difficult proposition because if he had, you know, buried that penalty, then most likely Inter would have won. But yeah, it ended up in a stalemate. So yes, I'm going to say that it's quite difficult for Napoli, but at the end of the day, they've just proven that they are in the title race. And you see, I am very happy for Scott McTominay with the way he was discarded from United, and he's just gone. Yeah, you understand? And then he's gone to Italy and then reinvented himself. And you see, it boils down to the belief that the coach has in him. And Scott McTominay is the perfect holding midfielder for Antonio Conte.
Wow. But after that 1-0 draw, you still think these two teams are, you know, the front runners to win the Scudetto? You're talking about Napoli, Inter.
Let's say similar in the mess as well.
Yeah, it's similar, a bit of, you know,
yes,
of the charts.
I don't think it will be a duopoly. Maybe some other teams should also come close. The game was a fire game. Early in the game, Scott McTominay opened the scoreline, and what a powerful goal! That should be goal of the week contender. The game was 50-50, end-to-end stuff. All teams displayed their very good performances on the day. It was just a perfect reflection of the game, because I didn't see Napoli winning, and then also Inter Milan winning at the other end. The penalty was the only thing to separate them, but then Hakan Çalhanoğlu for the first time.
But you'd say Inter have got more quality than Napoli?
It's not about quality, it's about the mentality. You know, Inter Milan have got quality. There's Dimarco, one of the best left backs in world football.
Defending champions as well.
Yes, but then I think if at this season Antonio Conte has been able to install some bit of confidence, and then you see that young chap from Brighton, the Chelsea
Billy Gilmore.
Yes, see how he's playing.
Former Chelsea player.
See how he's playing with confidence. You see, it's a matter of the coach having trust in the players, and then tell them, you know what, I believe in you. Go out there and then play your best. And then the coach, whatever the coach tells the players, it's a matter of them picking up. And see, the only thing that will beat them will be a bit of experience, because come on,
but they've won the league like 2 seasons ago. These two teams have actually won the last 2 Scudettos in Italy.
The core of the team, the core of the team. Are they still available?
They've only lost Osimhen.
The Osimhen and then Kai Min-jin.
Kim In-jae.
The only constantly.
No, but these are the only 2 players they still have quality in there. Zambo Anguissa. You have Lukaku has won the league with Inter Milan under Conte.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a couple of seasons ago. This is where he won the best player as well.
So whatever the character will show.
You see, it's not necessarily dependent on the quality, because both sides have got quality, right? So far,
but Inter's quality outweighs Napoli.
Inter's quality outweighs Napoli's on paper. The same way Inter's technical bench quality outweighs that of Inter's.
Napoli's
outweighs that of
Okay,
Inter,
so
because
Simeone Inzaghi, one-time Scudetto winner,
one-time Scudetto winner,
against about four times
Scudetto winner,
Yeah.
and then the EPL winner.
Yeah, so
You
that's,
understand? So
there's a mismatch.
So there's a mismatch when it comes to the bench, and then there's also, I'm not going to say it's a mismatch. There's a bit of a disparity when it comes to the quality in terms of both sides. But at the end of the day, you see, the technical bench that is going to empower its players the most, right? To go out there and sacrifice every inch of blood on the pitch like a gladiator without having regrets, off the pitch is the team that is going to carry the day.
All right, so this is where we just, come or draw the conclusion on this particular show. It's been the review show on our media channel. It's one of the hottest podcasts around, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But which team were you rooting for over the weekend? Arsenal are traveling all the way to the bridge, drawing 1-0 with Chelsea. Liverpool still holding that top spot, with some firm grip, because they do not want to slack at all. And they lie at the summit of the EPL, race 5 points above Manchester City. But also in Italy was a 1-0 draw between Inter and then Napoli. But which of these teams do you think should have won? But also with regards to a title race in England, which team do you think has fallen off the title race, and which teams will be contended? Thanks very much, gentlemen. Force and then courage. My name is Josiah. See you again in the next episode with some more reviews of games that we played in the Nations League.